Well, we thank God for yet another powerful time to meet with you guys and give me the great, honor and pleasure to explain a couple of things with you. And today we are going to learn few things in our world and our people. And basically, our strand for today's lesson, as you can see, is our nation, Ghana, and our substrand is being a citizen. But basically, we are going to talk more on how or the peaceful ways to resolve conflicts in our communities, our homes, or wherever place we find ourselves. So whenever there is conflict in school, home, and communities, peaceful solutions must be found, and some peaceful ways that we'll be looking at. But before then, let's quickly look at some of the keywords based on today's lesson or regarding today's lesson. Okay, we have our keywords over here. We have 10 keywords. We have conflict, resolution, peaceful, alternative, derogatory, dispute, superiority, settlement, amicable, and cooperation. Now, I would like us to go through the words one more time, and this round I would like you to say the words after me. Conflict, resolution, peaceful, alternative, derogatory, dispute, superiority, settlement, amicable, cooperation. That was powerful. All right, so now let's look at what conflict is. We hear the word conflict, and so we're going to look at the definition of conflict. Now, the word conflict is a clash or disagreement between two opposing groups or individuals. It is a clash or disagreement, often violent, between two opposing groups or individuals. Now, let's quickly look at some of the ways or vital ways we can resolve conflicts in our communities, in our homes, and our nations and the world at large. Okay, now let's look at the points or some of the ways that we can quickly resolve conflicts in our various homes. All right, one of the ways that we can talk about is we have amicable settlement of disputes. We have alternative dispute resolution, avoiding ethnic superiority, the law courts, cooperation, and avoiding derogatory statements. I believe you are clear with it. Let's go through one more time. We have amicable settlement of disputes, alternative dispute resolution, avoiding ethnic superiority, the law courts, cooperation, avoiding derogatory statements. Now we're going to take these points or ways of avoiding or ways that we can resolve conflicts or disputes in our communities or wherever place we find ourselves. Okay, now let's look at the ways one after the other or the points one after the other. All right, now let's look at amicable settlements of disputes. So as you can see the image over here, you can see someone trying to resolve a dispute between these two parties or these two individuals over here. So this could be done, can be achieved by bringing people who are in disagreement or let me say dispute together for elders to help them settle their differences. Okay, to help them settle their differences, because in every society we have elders who understand the views of the people in that very society. So they call upon such people to resolve any dispute or misunderstanding between them. Now let's move on to our next point, that is alternative dispute resolution. Alternative dispute resolution. Now, conflicts can be resolved peacefully through the use of alternative dispute resolution methods in the form of mediation and negotiation. In the form of mediation and negotiation. To negotiate over here is to come into consensus or agreement. The two parties. It is not always going to the law courts to resolve certain conflicts, but we can get a mediator, or there can be a negotiation between the two opposing parties so as to resolve any conflict between the two of them. I believe you are clear. Now let's move to our next point, that is avoiding ethnic superiority. Avoiding ethnic superiority. Let's look at this image over here. We have two different ethnic groups here. We have the Yoruba and the Igbo. Okay, so on this note, you could realize that the Yoruba tribe is trying to be superior or to be higher in qualities or certain things that we can talk about, and then the Igbo. So the Yorubas are trying to demean or to look superior to the Igbos. But in this sense, we are supposed not to live in that way. So we are endeavored to avoid ethnic superiority. We shouldn't see maybe our ethnic group better than the others. Okay. Now individuals in the country must avoid ethnic or tribal superiority. One tribe must not look down upon their tribes. This will avoid tribal conflicts and ensure peace in the country. Now let's look at our next point, that is the law courts. One of the ways that we can also settle disputes is through the law courts. We have courts, several courts in our country. We have the Supreme Court, the Circuit Court, and the rest. So today let's look at this one of the points that is the law court. Peaceful resolution of conflicts can be achieved through the law courts. With this, there is always the judge who serves as a referee and pronounces judgment. So let's look at this picture over here. You can see the judge over here trying the judge over here being a mediator to resolve disputes or conflict between these two opposing parties. Now let's quickly move to our next point. Our next point is cooperation. In this life, as individuals, we must cooperate. We must understand each other. Peace will be promoted in the country where people in the community are willing to cooperate, willing to come together as one body, to cooperate with each other and live and work together. Now let's really move to our next point. One of the ways that we can resolve conflicts peacefully in our nation, that is avoiding derogatory statements. Avoiding derogatory statements. As you can see over here, this image over here, is depicting our point. As individuals, we must not pass bad comments or ill words against each other. So there is a need for individuals in the country to avoid making bad comments or passing bad comments about their tribes, religions, groups, and political parties, and what have you. So this will go a long way in avoiding conflict. So the points that we've mentioned earlier, we've been able to tackle our central idea, that is what ways that we can prevent conflicts. We can prevent conflicts, or peaceful ways that we can resolve conflicts in our communities, in our homes, and wherever place we find ourselves. So on this note, also soon we've come to the end of our lesson, and I wish you all the very best. And on this note, I thank you very much, and God bless you all. Bye bye.